Welcome to Chapter 3, Example Number 2. When water flows across farmland, some of the soil is washed away, resulting in erosion. Researchers released water across the test bed at different flow rates and measured the amount of soil washed away. The following table gives the flow in liters per second and the weight in kilograms of eroded soil. So I went ahead and used the TI Nspire to go ahead and plot my data as two different lists, one for flow rate, one for eroded soil, and I had to determine which one was my explanatory variable and which one was my response variable to put the correct variables on the correct axes in the calculator. And since flow rate does explain how much soil is eroded, flow rate is my explanatory variable and eroded soil is my response variable. So I went ahead and plot the data. And now I have to decide, is the association positive or negative? And if I was to draw a line, the best I can with my stylus, from my first point to my second point, I would see that the association there is an association and it is positive. As the flow rate increases, the eroded soil increases. So I'm going to put positive. And now calculating the correlation R. I'm going to go ahead and bring up another screenshot because I went ahead and let the calculator do the correlation for me. Okay, I went ahead and did the two variable statistics and found that my R is 0.966983. I'm going to round that to 0.967. Now we need to explain why your R is reasonable based on the scatter plot. And if we can remember in class, the closer you are to -1 or 1, the closer you are to being completely linear in correlation. And if you look at our graph, the data points are pretty close to forming a straight line, so 0.967 is pretty close to 1. It is a positive correlation, so it's positive 1. So it is very reasonable based on our scatter plot that our correlation is 0.967. So I'm going to write the correlation. I'm going to just call R is positive, which matches up with our scatter plot that also has a positive. The R is positive, which matches our scatter plot, which has a positive correlation. Also, we want to note that the points are aligned in almost a perfect straight line pattern, so the magnitude of the correlation will be very close to 1. That is, the strength of the association is quite strong. So R equals 0.967 is a reasonable value for the correlation. Okay, next we are going to, it says, you may not use your calculator for the following exercise. Match the following scatter plots with the appropriate correlation from the list. Note that not all of the correlations are used. The viewing window is the same in all 4 plots. So let's take a look at number 4. That is interesting. It looks like it has both a mixture of this and that. If we go with the 4, I would say overall it's got a loosely correlated negative correlation. So let's go with R equals -0.17. And the next, well, that's a little bit tighter. That looks like a positive correlation. It's getting pretty close to forming a straight line, so it's definitely linear, and let's go with 0.82. The next one is pretty close to a straight line, so I'm going to go with 0.98. And this number 7 looks perfectly linear, and it's a negative correlation, so R equals -1. Thank you for joining me for Chapter 3, Example 2.